What's going on, guys? It's William. This channel is all about real estate investing for passive income and financial education. Now, before you get into real estate, you need to understand there's different types of real estate investors. Today, we're going to go over three. You have the flipper, the wholesaler, and the buy and hold investor. Let's get into it. Number one, wholesaling. Now, some will argue this is the cheapest barrier to entry to real estate investing because you literally go out and find deals, you analyze, and then make an offer on the deal. But when you offer on real estate, when you're a wholesaler, you are not actually buying the property yourself. You are signing an agreement with the seller binding you to that, say, 30 days in which you have the opportunity to go out and find somebody like me that's a buy and wholesaler or a flipper for that instance to sell it for a little bit more, and you get the cut of the difference, otherwise known as the spread in real estate. In other words, let's do this. You found a little bitty house for $150,000. You know that it markets for, say, $220,000, almost in an as-is condition, maybe needing some repairs, but you've compensated for that in the price. You know 150 is a great deal, and you know there's a little bit of money to be made. So this is what you do. You find the deal, you write it up on paper, binding it into a, say, 30-day agreement with the seller, which he cannot sell from out from under you. You now have 30 days to sell it for, let's say, $160,000. 170, 190,000, whatever you think the market will support. See, it really doesn't matter what you buy the property for. Investors only care about what they're buying it for, not what you paid for it. You could get it for $1. I don't care. I would gladly pay you $150,000 for a property that you got for free if it makes sense to me. That rhymed. I didn't do that on purpose. So you find a good deal, you lock it up on paper, you find an investor to pay you a little bit more than you made the agreement on, you pocket the difference. That's the gist of wholesaling. Number two, flipping. And I think that most people, when they think about real estate investing, I think they think flipping first and foremost, because generally it's kind of the easiest to understand for most people. You buy a house for $150,000 and then you put some money in it and then you sell it for more than you bought it for. It's very simple and less complex on paper for sure. And well, you know, we have the TV shows, you know, flip this whatever and this house and that house, and you got all these TV shows that you kind of watch, and it makes a lot of sense once you can actually see, okay, they bought it for this price and then they put this much in it and then they sold it for this and then their profit's this. So flipping can also be a great way to get into real estate, and you don't need to put up your own money to buy real estate, and let me explain how. Let's use a $150,000 house again, because that is the #1 price point for majority buyers in the USA according to some surveys. So let's use the same house for example. You buy it for $150,000, you put, say, $25,000 into it. Now, you gotta remember you bought it for under market value. You're not just trying to force a bunch of appreciation and then capitalize on what the extra value you turn into. You're buying it already at a good deal, okay? If it's really worth turnkey, say $210,000, $220,000, you're getting it at the $150,000 basically, okay? And this is all ballpark, give and take a little bit, but you're basically getting it at, say, $150,000. You're putting your little bit of money into it if you're a flipper, and then you're in it for, say, $175,000. And then you turn around and you could get $225,000 for it, $240,000 for it, $250,000 for it, give or take a little bit, depending on what's more realistic in your area. Everybody's area is a little bit different. Sometimes flippers are barely squeezing through with 10 or 15 grand. Other times they're making $60,000. Now let's back up just a little bit. So this is how you can buy and flip a house with little to no money out of your pocket. Let me explain. So you find this $150,000 house, and then you go to a place called a hard money lender. Now there's other lending options out there as well, but a hard money lender is typically the go-to for a lot of flippers because you can get in and out of it very quickly, and their stipulations are way easier to get through than any banks, believe me. So basically you find this deal, you bring it to a hard money lender. Literally right now you can type in hard money lender on Google and then type in your area. Hard money lender, Houston, Texas. Hard money lender, Los Angeles, California. You're gonna see a lot of examples, guys. Search within 50 miles if you're not quite in a city. You'll find some people. Some of this stuff can be done all over the phone. You don't actually have to go there, but the hard money lender does not care necessarily about your credit and a lot of other things like a lot of other banks do. Like banks want to see W-2s, they want to see hard money lenders. A lot of times will look at a deal by deal basis. They will make sure that it makes sense to them. Basically this, if they were to fund you and something were to happen, they can take this house from you and still get out from under it. That's their biggest concern with hard money lenders. So you can literally bring them a great deal. Once they can verify it's a good deal, they'll lend you on the money. Now you might have a small down payment, but here's the other great part about this though. If you do have to put a little money down, that's one thing you can even outsource that. You see what I'm saying? They will also help lend in a lot of occasions your repair budget as well. Just think about it. And that's where the beauty of flipping can come in. For little to no down out of your pocket, you can start doing deals. Guys, like you can start making deals like today, tomorrow, next week, like next month, like next year if you wanted to put it off. Like it's not hard, especially once you get the ball rolling. Number 3, buy and hold investing, otherwise known as rental properties. It's what I do, it's what I love, and it's pretty much my favorite thing to talk about now. Besides like airplanes, I'm a big like airplane nut. I love airplanes, but besides that, buy and hold rental properties is like my big one. Now, there's gonna be a whole different formula when it comes to buy and hold real estate. So I'm not gonna go into that because this video could be like 20 minutes long. You don't wanna watch this video for 20 minutes. Maybe you do, but I'm not trying to pitch you on buy and hold in this. We're just going over the 3 differences. We're kind of break down to it. So when a buy and hold investor finds, say, that same $150,000 house, they typically wanna make, and this is just like a super broad formula, they typically wanna make 1% per month on their purchase price. Now, some investors are saying, no way, Jose, I'm not doing a 1% deal. That's not good enough for me. And they want 1.5%, 2%. Some people talk 3%. I have a property that's about a 3%er. Not common in the marketplace. It is possible if you really push. But they want 1% per month of the purchase price. Now, this isn't a linear equation. You can't necessarily do this on a $400,000 house, $500,000. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna get $10,000 a month typically for a $1 million house. Like, it doesn't work like that necessarily. So, $150,000 house, 1% per month is $1,500 a month. Now, that $1,500 has to cover what they call PITI, that's principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And after all that, still cash flow money into your pockets. This also takes into consideration a little bit of repairs and a little bit of vacancy, which we all know is going to come up inevitably. So let's recap the 3 ways to invest in real estate, and you can determine which way works for you best. So you have the wholesaler, and the wholesaler finds deals, makes a little bit of money just putting 2 people together and walks away free and clear. The flipper finds a deal, fixes it up in most cases, puts it back on the market, sells it at typically retail, and then makes the difference between what they have into it, ultimately, minus the selling costs and then some selling fees associated with that. Keep in mind for flippers, you're gonna have what they call capital gains tax, and that can amount to 30% of your total sales. So if you made $100,000 profit, just to keep the math easy, okay, that would be a crazy deal. You would have to pay $30,000 potentially in taxes depending on where you live. Keep that in mind because that's not the same for buy and hold investors. Buy and hold investors, number 3, buy a property and then they cash flow monthly on it every single month. And this is what they call passive income, and this is what I invest for. Because you gotta look at it like this. It is a very scalable way to do real estate. Think about it this way. If you had 10 houses, let's just call it 50 houses, and you had a property manager and you were getting your checks in every month, what do you think the workload would be on you if you had 50 houses versus 200 houses? Could it be the same? It very well could be. Your workload may not increase much at all, if any. That's what they call a scalable business. And that's why I like the buy and hold strategy as much as I do. Also, a lot of investors, when they very first get in, may start with wholesaling or flipping, and then when they get enough money, get into buy and hold investing because they're using it as a stepping stone. And that makes a lot of sense if that's the way you want to do it. Plus, you learn the market inside and out from different formulas and ways to invest in real estate. Guys, thank you so much for watching this. If this helped you at all, leave a like and comment below. Let me know what you think about the video. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you on the next one.